This is the City of Syracuse Board of Assessment Review. It's Wednesday, February 26th, approximately 9:10 a.m. And just wanted to remind everybody that these meetings are videotaped and recorded live, and then they can be seen again on a YouTube channel that Michelle can supply the address to, if you want to check with her after we're done. Let's do a roll call. I'm Joe Saya.
Sue Straub.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see here. It looks like we've got, are you from Destiny, USA? Okay, very good. Have a seat wherever you'd like. If you can just, those are portable, so you can adjust if you like as far as the mic is concerned. Just to kind of get set up, I've got the information here. We've got several properties. Do you want them all read in at the same time or individually?
I think it's probably most convenient for everybody if we kind of address them all at the same time. I think there's 23 total. So if the board would permit it, do them all together and address them all as kind of one or two units, and then we can get everyone a little more time back in their day.
Well, that's fine. No problem. I want to make sure you have,
The record we need, yeah.
full hearing and all that good stuff. I just wasn't sure if, I guess I would say, let's do this. I'll swear you in. I'll swear in as well. And then if there is something that stands out on a particular property while I'm reading it in, just let me know.
Will do.
And then we'll make comments as we go. Okay, so if you could raise your right hands, state your name for the record.
Jacob Sonner from the law firm of Phillips Lytle LLP, counsel for petitioners in these cases.
Ann Gallagher.
Okay, do you both affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability?
I do.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I did that by memory. Getting good.
It's the last day.
I didn't have my cheat sheet. You figured the last day I was walking over here and I said, I should be able to do this without the cheat sheet. So anyway, okay. All right, good, thank you. And no particular order, I assume, as far as the read-in. So I'll go. Do you have an extra sheet for this gentleman by chance? This way you can see there's another petitioner after that, but we'll start off with 450 Solar Street and then work our way.
Do you want me to read them in?
No, I'll go ahead and read them in. Basically the address, if there's a description, and then the number information is what I'll do. Okay, very good. So once again, 450 Solar Street. This property is vacant commercial, is a vacant commercial parcel adjacent to Destiny, USA. Current tentative assessed value, $392,000 with a land value of $392,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $120,000, and that would equate to an assessed value of $69,000. 450 Solar Street. Next one is on the list, 967 North Clinton Street. Property is vacant commercial parcel adjacent to Destiny, USA. Current tentative assessed value, $2,220,000 with a land value of $2,220,000. And petitioner believes the fair market value is $680,000. That would be an assessed value of $391,000. What I normally do too, and I read a couple in, but did you want to make an opening statement? And I'm sorry for not offering that to you.
No problem. I think maybe at this point, why don't we finish reading them in, and I'll provide my statement regarding all of them. There's basically two categories. There's the parking parcels and the vacant, and I've got just some general thoughts I'd ask the board to consider. But maybe we can do that after we read them in.
Okay, excellent. And I'm sorry I didn't offer that up front.
No problem.
401 West Bear Street. This is vacant commercial parcel adjacent to Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $49,500 with a land value of $49,500. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $13,100. That would be an equatable assessed value of $7,532. Then we have 400 West Bear Street. This is a vacant commercial parcel adjacent to Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $6,000 with a land value of $6,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $7,441, and that would be an equatable assessed value of $4,278. We have 401 Hiawatha Boulevard. Current tentative assessed value $2,100,000 with a land value of $1,830,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $415,400, and that would be an assessed value of $238,855. 561 Solar Street. This property is a parking lot for Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $2,100,000 with a land value of $1,900,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $455,700 and an assessed value of $262,027. Uh, 551 Solar Street. This is a parking lot for Destiny USA. Current assessed value tentative $2,020,000 with a land value of $1,820,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $421,900, and the equatable assessed value is $242,592. I'm not sure if I read what 401 Hiawatha Boulevard was, but it's a parking lot for Destiny USA. (541) Solar Street. This is a parking lot for Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $1,375,000 with a land value of $1,175,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $270,000, and that is an assessed value of $155,250. (531) Solar Street. This is a parking lot for Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $1,370,000 with a land value of $1,170,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $270,000, and that would be a assessed value of $155,250. We have 300 West Bear Street. This is a vacant land adjacent to parking lots for Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $2 million with a land value of $2 million. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $562,900, and that would be an assessed value of $323,667. 200 West Bear Street. This is a billboard on otherwise vacant land adjacent to parking lots for Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value, $1,060,000, with a land value of $935,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $213,900. That would be an assessed value of $122,992. 250 West Bear Street. Billboard on otherwise vacant land adjacent to parking lots for Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value of $824,000, with a land value of $744,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $183,600, and that would be an assessed value of $105,570. 540 Solar Street. This property is a parking lot for Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $1,886,000, with a land value of $1,786,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $417,800, and that would be an assessed value of $240,235. 550 Solar Street. This property is a parking lot for Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $2,957,000, with a land value of $2,857,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $660,000, and that would be an assessed value of $379,500. 502 Solar Street. Property is vacant industrial. Current tentative assessed value $869,000, with a land value of $869,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $213,500, and that would be an assessed value of $122,762. 301 West Bear Street. Property is vacant commercial parcel adjacent to Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $1,535,000, with a land value of $1,535,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $470,000, and that would be an assessed value of $270,250. 475 Solar Street. Property is vacant vacant industrial parcel adjacent to Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $860,000, with a land value of $860,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $330,000, and that would be an equatable assessed value of $189,750. 475 Solar Street rear. Property is vacant industrial parcel adjacent to Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $118,000, with a land value of $118,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $40,000, which would be an assessed value of $23,000. 470 Solar Street. Property is vacant industrial parcel adjacent to Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $2,303,000, with a land value of $2,303,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $855,000, and that would be an assessed value of $491,625. 245 West Bear Street. Property is vacant commercial parcel adjacent to Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $122,000, with a land value of $122,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $100,000, which would be an assessed value of $57,500. (931) North Clinton Street. Property is vacant commercial parcel adjacent to Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $3,300,000 with a land value of $3,300,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $540,000. That would be an equatable assessed value of $310,500. 560 Solar Street, vacant commercial. Current tentative assessed value, $1,702,000 with a land value of $1,502,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $400,000, and that would be an assessed value of $230,000. (901) North Clinton Street. Property is vacant commercial parcel adjacent to Destiny USA. Current tentative assessed value $1,600,000 with a land value of $1,600,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $543,000, and that would be an equatable assessed value of $312,225. So it looks like most of this is vacant land with a few improvements.
Yeah, I guess how I would characterize these properties is kind of falling into two buckets. We've got parking parcels that are adjacent to the mall, the shopping center, that serve as overflow. And then there's a handful, I think there's 11 total vacant parcels that have some advertising, some billboards. A handful of them have that, but not all. And our submissions to the board and to the assessor's office break those down. And I can, if the board wants, I can identify them more particularly. But basically, as I said, there's 23 total parcels, 12 of them being what I would call the parking parcels improved by the parking lots, and 11 of them being the vacant parcels. Just to address kind of a few issues, because I know these have been the subject of challenges over the last few years, so I'm sure the board is familiar basically with the facts. They're also the subject of some Article 7 tax cert proceedings. So I don't want to belabor too much, and like I said earlier, I want to give you guys some time back in your day. But just a few highlights from our submissions. With respect to the parking parcels in particular, obviously, as I said, they serve as overflow parking for the mall, and some of the information we've provided to the board and the assessor's office, I think, demonstrates pretty clearly the economic realities that are taking place at the shopping center. And I think that those economic realities have been recognized this year by the assessor's office in a fairly dramatic reduction in the assessed value of the mall as a whole. And I think that that knock-on effect should continue on to the parking parcels, which are restricted in use. They really are only used as overflow parking for the mall itself. So that would be point one, and with respect to those parking parcels.
Let me stay on that point for a second. So, Ann, there was a good-sized reduction in the mall
itself.
property.
Yes,
Building.
correct.
And/or buildings. But nothing was addressed as far as the parking up to this point, and all the stuff that are presented here.
Right.
What was the reduction on the building, the mall?
I don't, I mean, I can get it.
Just curious.
Yeah, I don't have it with me, but I can certainly
But
supply the
it
board
was a
with it.
good-sized reduction.
Yes.
And are these all in litigation?
Yes.
These are all in litigation. How about the mall?
No.
No. Was it ever?
That I'm not sure. But yeah. Yeah. No.
Not for the
I mean,
purposes of this.
a few years ago, I think there was some litigation regarding a pilot or some funding. It has nothing to do with this.
Right.
Okay, all right. Yep.
I can provide a little clarity on both points. Not
Yeah.
the mall itself, not currently in litigation because it's still under a pilot. So there's that.
Okay.
The value, I have the full market value and the reduction, $224.7 million in full market, reduced to $224.3 million in full market. So that's before the equalization rate obviously applies.
But that was the reduction. Well, that was, yeah, I think it's not necessarily just with the mall. It's, it's overall, people are more online and all that good stuff, which we don't need to get into. But the city recognized the fact that there was some adjustment that needed to take place. All right, so we'll hold that thought. These are in litigation, so if you want to go on to point 2.
Yeah, point 2 on the parking parcels is kind of an offshoot of what I just said, and it's basically that these parking parcels aren't significant revenue generators. We've provided the leases that the state, some of the state entities have with the petitioners. We've also provided the financial statements in the materials that were in response to the materials that were requested by the board, and I think as the board will see, they generate some revenue, but really they serve primarily, as I said earlier, as the overflow parking, and they're an attendant to the mall, and that limits their value pretty dramatically. Unless there's any questions about that, just one final point, and this encapsulates both the parking and the vacant.
Have you done a recent survey with respect to, how much parking is going on there? How many people are visiting the mall?
The use, not that I'm aware of. Obviously, speaking, just in broad strokes, foot traffic is down at all of the regional malls across New York State. So I would imagine that those numbers have gone down. But your very pointed question was, have we done a survey, and can I come with any measurable data? And I'm not aware of any.
At this time and or recently or period?
Right, that's correct. But
Okay.
it's something I can certainly ask the Destiny
I think
folks.
that would be, helpful in the overall analysis. I'm not disputing what you're saying as far as numbers are concerned with respect to people, and obviously that would equate to, less cars. But, I think that's something that, definitely would be important, especially if you're, these are all parking and or overflow.
And to be clear, me not knowing that whether that's taken place or not certainly doesn't mean that it hasn't. So it's a valid question and something I can certainly take to the Destiny folks. And if the board would permit a supplement, we can certainly provide that information.
That would be excellent, and I think the city would welcome that as well.
Absolutely.
So what I would propose then is I'll take that back to my client this week, and one way or another, we'll submit something in writing via a letter. Either it has taken place, and here's what we can provide, or no, it hasn't, just to advise the board of the status.
It would be, I think, something that, numbers-wise, they would want to, they know, but, I think the survey is something that would solidify certainly your verbal argument.
Right. Understood. The last point I want to make today, and again, this is a rehash of points that have been brought up in previous bar hearings, but this covers both the parking parcels and the vacant parcels. Both sets of properties are environmentally challenged significantly. I know the board is obviously very well aware of the former Oil City site. They all qualify as brownfield cleanup, qualify for the brownfield cleanup program through the state DEC. And that significantly impacts their redevelopability, if that's a word. There's a lot of steps and hurdles that need to be jumped through if someone's going to buy this property or any of these properties and redevelop or do anything on them. And again, I would be remiss if I didn't note again that with respect to the parking parcels in particular, they are attendant to the mall and are required to be maintained as overflow or potential overflow parking for the mall. So with that, we're just requesting the reductions that are set forth in our RP 524s, and I'll rely on the balance of our submission, the affidavit of Mr. Aaron Brunner, and the other materials that have been provided to the board. So unless there are any other questions, I can give you some time back in your day.
Yes, so let me just, any feedback and or is there any plans to look at these at some point in the future like you did the mall or?
There's always that possibility, but because they're in litigation right now,
Right.
we're just going to say that we feel that the assessments are correct. I do have a question regarding the ownership on those two on North Clinton that we have as JPD. Is that correct?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I think there was resubs over there.
Yeah.
And I want to verify that, and when because we normally go by what the resub map says and the county says as the ownership, and I'm just wondering if something was amiss there.
I think that there's a lag in some of the in some of that information. I think
Okay.
JPD Corp, the owner you're identifying for the two Clinton properties,
Okay.
is no longer. We have been grieving them. Let's see if I can find one here.
They should be probably at that.
We have been grieving them with the name that appears on the roll, so JPD Corp. But I believe,
Was that the name that's on your roll?
Right.
Oh, I see.
you know, I'm not 100% sure if that is the right one, though, if I'm the one I'm thinking of. So maybe
Okay.
what I might suggest is, because I know this issue has come up with my client too, they always get confused when I send them the RP 524s.
Got it.
What I might suggest is, along with the submission on the parking, if maybe I should just address it directly with the assessor's office.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
probably
I
the
mean,
better way. Yeah, that might be the
I
cleaner
mean,
way to
just
do
as
it.
long as you've been cleared by, if it is JPD or,
Yeah, we.
certified to appear and all.
Yeah, all the certifications are right and the authorizations are right, and
Okay.
this is how we've done it in the last 2 or 3 years that we've been grieving these. So maybe what I'll do is reach out separately to the assessor's office and flag the ones where I feel there may be
Okay.
an ownership, may not list quite the right ownership entity.
Okay.
Does he have to supply anything, I assume, that
Yes,
shows what
if
the
there's,
ownership
if there's an
is?
issue,
Okay.
I can also verify with the county too, but
Okay.
we'll go from there.
Is it just those two at
Yeah.
this point that you know
Yeah.
of? Okay.
And just so I'm clear, it's the two on Clinton,
Yeah, 901 and 931.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Anything else that you would want to add in closing?
No, just like I said earlier, other than to submit respectfully that the values set forth in our grievances, the RP 524 complaints are what we're asking for, and to rely on the submissions that have been presented to the board, and to thank you all for your time today.
Yes, well, thank you very much for coming in, and, I know it's challenging over there, but that was excellent on the city's part to take a hard look at the mall, and hopefully these can get settled and out of litigation as well. I'm sure. How many years on these? I know we've seen them for a long time.
This, so it was filed in 2002, 3, 4, so
2022 or 2002?
22.
Oh, okay. You did say 2020. This is Trevor, by the way. He happened to sneak in,
I saw him walking. Yeah.
and we didn't swear you in either. Should we do that?
We can for the next one.
Okay.
Keep that at
I don't.
fourth year.
No, how about this? I'll state on the record that it's year 4 for the grievance process, and no, I have no objection to Trevor appearing
Okay.
this way.
That sounds great. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate everything.
Thank you
And the city will send separate notices beginning of April.
Thank you, guys. Good luck with your water.
Yes. 'Tis the season. Oh, that's short, 4 years? We've been seeing these for many, 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 many years. Yeah. I wouldn't say normal, but yeah, there are some. Got it? Okay. Thank you.
They're just waiting for somebody else, so that's
Yeah.
not actually
Okay. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, Antonacci. Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. Oh, yeah, Billy, yeah. Bill, come back, but if we're not here, yeah. Yeah, just depends on how long it takes for you. And I think we'll be here for at least an hour, I think. And then I gotta find out about Monday. She said Monday we gotta come in also. Oh, okay, so, actually, if I don't see you, as far as tomorrow's concerned, I have a time constraint Friday, but I do not have a time constraint tomorrow. So if you want to shoot tomorrow, why don't we just say in between 11, 11:30? And I think that's good. We'll plan on coming in tomorrow in between 11 and 11:30. And that's the engineering room? Okay, just in case, we're gone when you come back. Tomorrow engineering in between 11 and 11:30. And then we'll fine tune Friday. Yeah, Sue will, I will, but yeah, we'll take care of that. And as far as, I'll talk to you more after, but we'll do whatever the third day was. And then, as stuff we sent down gets looked at, and then I assume you'll send it up with like the next day we're here? Yeah, and then we can clean up as we go.
Wish me luck. This is just not going well so far.
All right, good luck. Sue mentioned something, so what is that all about?
So we're 10 properties last Friday.
And we
We read them.
his letter as to when to come in. Oh, okay. Well, good thing he checked in. No problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So Monday will in fact be the final day. And the person up in Eastwood ever reach out to you? But I'm assuming that whatever was submitted, we're addressing it. Okay. Okay. In other words, because the person didn't show, we're not concerned about that based on the situation. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that was. Junior get back to you yet by chance? Yeah, and then just let me know, and then I may just call them directly and get on the account. Maybe they'll spur it too, but I won't, contact them until I hear from you. This will be the same type of setup. Yeah. I think, waiting for something else, I guess. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't look at that.
Want to sit closer though? He might, right.
No. So next we have the railroads. Allegedly. Allegedly. Hi. Still out for the day?
Yes, go onboarding.
Take over. Say that again?
Onboarding.
Oh, it's onboarding. Because they wanted to wait until he was almost done.
On a brownfield, right, exactly. That was 800 million.
Right.
Good thing you got those bonus points.
Oh, they did not help at all.
Right.
36.
I happened to get one, just because I threw it out there, but I thought Inside Out. No, it's all black and white, so I
Oh.
can't even get it.
Little short, stocky guy.
So I put that, so I got
Look.
one of them.
Looks like he's voiced by Lewis Black.
But, I could have named all of them like movies.
Hey, yeah, why don't you come on up?
Morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good.
It's one that I will ask.
Yes, yes. How are you? Good, good. Have a seat, relax.
Relax too much.
Well, not yet, anyway. Well, I'm going to swear you both in along with Trevor. And just prior to that, I know you were here last year. I remember you. How are you?
Good.
Good. And were you here as well?
Yes.
Okay, good. There, if you want to just think about it for a second, there's something that you were waiting, and I don't want to get into it now, but just to let you know that we'll touch on that first. There was some information that you were waiting from the state prior, and you hadn't received it at last year's hearing. So I'm curious if whatever you were waiting for came in And, okay.
Railroad ceilings.
All right, good,
Yes.
good, because Sue takes tremendous notes and went over it the other day in anticipation of you coming in, and that was something that we wanted to address. So we'll get into that in a second. But if you could raise your right hands, state your name for the record.
Melanie Boyer.
Nolan Kokoris.
Trevor McDaniel?
Does everyone affirm to tell the truth and give accurate information to the best of your ability?
I will.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so that takes care of that. Is that something that you want to touch on now, or, and actually, I'm assuming potentially the same argument for all of these, and if that's the case, do you want me to, what I thought maybe is an opening statement, then if you want me, and if it's appropriate, to read all the properties in, and then if there is something particular about something as I'm reading it in, you can point it out at that point. And then when we're done, get into a long discussion. But if that's not, doesn't fit well with what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay. My name is Nolan Kokoris. I'm an attorney with Bond, Shenick and King. We represent the owner of the properties, New York Susquehanna and Western Railroad. The basis for the grievances both last year and this year is primarily due to the assessed value of the railroad's properties being in excess of the final ceiling set by New York State. And so the way that it works,
Let me just interrupt, and I'm
Sure.
sorry. Do remember last year, obviously this year, but I don't recall prior to, as far as grievance is concerned. Is that correct? Was last year the first year?
Yes. Before that, we were under a pilot agreement with the IDA.
Oh, okay, all right, very good. So, so just so I'm on the same page, time frame wise.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, so going back to the railroad ceilings, under New York State statute, the New York State Office of Real Property Tax Services issues a ceiling for railroad properties. And what that does is it sets a limit for what the assessed value of railroad properties in the aggregate can be in a taxing jurisdiction. So in 2024, when we came before the board, we were still awaiting a final ceiling from the state. That has since been issued, and it's around 4.1 million. The 2025 ceiling is around 4.4 million, and we've got copies of both of the ceilings we can provide to the board.
Okay, and the ceiling equates to what?
So that is the maximum that the total assessed value of the railroad properties can be.
Oh, okay, so that's in total, all of these.
Correct. So all of the railroad's properties within the city of Syracuse, by law, cannot exceed an assessed value that's, it can't exceed this railroad ceiling.
Now, is that something that you comply with, or?
If it indicates that the value is over, then we make those parcels, we make the remainder exempt, which we have done.
So yes, the city does do its best to comply with the ceiling. Sorry, Nolan, I'm going to interrupt just a hot second. It's my understanding that this is an issue of the classification. The city's been in pretty regular contact with the state and with Nolan about, the classification. I think we've mostly corrected. There's just a few of these parcels that we just, I just want to get a little bit more information on before we make that correction.
Okay, and if that happens, then it's all in compliance with the ceiling?
Yes, it would be in compliance with the ceiling, and Nolan would be able to speak to his client's plans past that. But once we make sure that these are all classified appropriately, as far as we're
Everything
concerned,
else
that the
should fall into
yeah,
place.
As far as we're concerned, the role is correct as soon as we have the classifications ready.
Okay,
And the reason the classifications, my understanding is, the reasons the classifications were incorrect was because of the pilot, and it just got, filed incorrectly or something, and
Okay, so I would say if there's something when I'm reading it in, you want to stop and try to clarify something on a particular, we can do that.
yeah, I actually prepared a spreadsheet for everyone. Um, that's-
We're going to come back to you, just.
Just
little-
prepared a
little
spreadsheet
housekeeping.
of all the parcels that I believe are being grieved right now. And this is for unit one. It's got 5 columns. There, the third column is whether it's ceiling or non-ceiling. Anywhere where there's an N, those are the parcels that I really just want to talk through and make sure we can get to the bottom of it and make sure that we fully understand what's going on. There is also one that's been highlighted. That's because the SBL was incorrect, and the highlighted SBL here is correct.
Okay, all right, good. So we'll clean it all up, hopefully, and, so Nolan, let me turn it back over to you, and thank you for that, Trevor.
Sure. So that's, I think with respect to the 2024 assessments, we're still waiting on a correction. We had applied for a correction, and as far as I'm aware, it hasn't gone through yet. But with respect to 2025, since that's why we're here today, I would just point out that the railroad properties have been correctly classified as ceiling properties this year. That wasn't the case last year. However, the issue that we've encountered is with the city's approach of implementing the ceiling as a partial exemption on the parcels. That does not align with New York state law. And so the practical effect of that is that the properties have city and county and school taxes that are more or less in line with the railroad ceiling, but special district taxes are still far above what the ceiling value of the property would allow. So, because when you apply a partial exemption to properties, that doesn't impact special district assessments. So, water, fire district, things like that. They're the assessments on those appear to be at a value higher than the ceiling. So, we have concern with that.
Okay, okay. You want to address that, just because we're on topic?
So the special charges that would be on these railroad properties are not equated with the assessments. So for example, if there's flushing or some type of special charge, we don't have we don't have fire districts. That's all in the tax rate. So anything that would be equated to an assessment doesn't, there's nothing as far as right off the top of my head in a railroad district. So for example, flushing is based on front foot of the property, not what the assessment is. There is no county sewer charge that would be based on any type of water usage, sidewalk charge or anything like that is not based on, ad valorem, whatever the value is. Maybe in other municipalities, I'm sure it is, but not within the city. I don't believe there's any special districts currently assessed to the railroads that are based on the assessment. I'm pretty sure. But we can, I can double verify that, but I'm pretty sure it's, in this particular instance, there's nothing.
And you say is, you're getting charged special district fees?
The railroad's getting charged special district fees. They haven't been charged for the 2025 assessment yet, so we don't have bills to look at to confirm whether or not there are special district charges.
But in 2024, there were charges. Yes,
and 2024 is kind of a different issue because the assessment wasn't reduced to, it was still over the ceiling value in 2024. So it's across the board, the assessments are above what the state allows.
Okay, All right. Okay. You want to proceed on?
Yeah, I just got one more point I'll make, which is that the New York State Railroad ceiling is just that. It's a ceiling. So the assessments can't exceed it. They can be lower than that. And when the city assesses railroad property, it's supposed to do it the same way as any other property, where it looks at the properties and assigns a market value to them. So our position is that the market value of the properties is much lower than the New York State Railroad ceiling. So looking at the railroad system as a whole, because really that's the only way to look at railroad properties. You can't have a single railroad parcel, 'cause if it's not connected to anything else, it has no value. So with that in mind, I think last year we had submitted income information at the board's request, indicating that the income from these properties necessitated a lower market value. The board didn't request that information this year, but would be happy to provide it for review. But I think our position is still that the even with the railroad ceiling in mind, the properties are drastically overassessed for the income that they produce. And as to the parcels that on Mr. McDaniel's spreadsheet have the N for non-ceiling, those are all parcels that have been separated from the railroad properties. They have billboards on the properties, so those have a separate valuation. They're not railroad properties, and they have separate income streams that I think the railroad, that's the whole point for why they were separated out, is to make it easier for the city to determine the income that those billboard properties produce and assign assessments to those that are separate and distinct from the railroad assessments.
Okay. So we'll hit those. I'll follow this list as well. And first one to come up, 420 East Colvin. So we'll address that as we come. As far as that income information is concerned, yes, if you could get us the updated, that would be good.
Sure.
I think that would be important. And and I apologize, I'm not sure where we missed on the request, but that would be helpful. Last year, you had some coffee. Would you like another cup of coffee?
Oh, no, I'm good this year.
Are
I
you
drank
sure?
some on the way here.
You what?
I'm good. I had coffee on the way here.
Okay, good. How about yourself?
I'm okay, thank you, though. I
Okay,
appreciate
all right,
it.
very good. Okay, so is there anything you want to add, the city?
I believe if you verify the real property tax law, it says if it does exceed the ceiling, that we have to make it exempt. And that's what we
As
did.
you said before, okay.
Yeah, if it exceeds the ceiling, we have to draw on it. We have to reduce the assessment to proportionally among the properties to the ceiling. So if our valuation, for example, I don't think it's the case. Actually, I can't use the case here. I think that without the ceiling, the properties would be assessed at approximately $9 million. With the ceiling being at $4.1 million, that means that the $4.9 million of that we exceed the ceiling has to be allocated as an exemption among all the parcels.
Okay, but you're further contesting that the value, the assessed value of all of these should be much lower than the ceiling, if I'm hearing you correctly.
That's correct.
Okay, and that'll be shown in the numbers that I'm going to read in, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So if everybody's good, I will go ahead and read all these in, and we'll stop when needed. But it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. The first 4 potentially are not at issue. But anyway, let's. I'll follow this. Actually, is this the same as? Trevor, did you go down the list that we have here as well?
No, I based it off of petition that petitioner filed last year. So
Okay.
I think it might be in the same order, but
That's fine.
I don't know.
Well, I just wanted to know so I can check it as we go. Okay, all right. Well, first one is 522 Renwick Ave, and I know that Michelle has them in the correct order, so I'll zero in on Trevor's list. Okay. So 522 Renwick Ave, this is a railroad, current tentative assessed value of 22,400 with a land value of 22,400. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $3,584 with an assessed value of $2,061. So nothing to report on that other than what I just read in. Okay. Then we have 339 Woodland Ave. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $508,600 with a land value of $508,600. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $81,376, and that would be an assessed value of $46,791.
I almost have these memorized.
Next one is 425 East Colvin Street. This is a railroad, current assessed value $421,800 with a land value of $421,800. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $67,488, and that would be an equatable assessed value of $38,806. Then we have 420 East Colvin Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $40,200 with a land value of $40,200. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $6,432, and that would be an assessed value of $3,698. Okay. Now, the first up on the Trevor chart is of non-sealing 420 East Colvin Street rear. So let me read this in, and then we'll address it. This is a billboard, current tentative assessed value $90,000, zero land value. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $14,400, and the assessed value is $8,280. So what is your, you have questions on this?
No, I believe Nolan cleared that up. I don't think we have any issues here. Yeah, I don't think we have any issues here.
Okay. So just, yes, thank you. Okay, very good. Okay, then let's go to 229 East Brighton Ave. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $54,400 with a land value of $54,400. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $8,704, and then that would be an assessed value of $5,005. Okay, this one here, we may have a question. 229 East Brighton Avenue rear. This is a billboard, current tentative assessed value $155,000 with a land value of $0. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $24,800, which would be an equatable assessed value of $14,260.
I think Nolan cleared that one up as well.
Okay, very good. You're 2 for 2. I'm keeping track, you know.
Okay.
So far, so good.
Let me just.
Yeah, sure.
So but they're still filing on the value of the billboard, though, correct? Knowing it's
Correct.
still, it's non-sealing, but you're still,
Correct.
question? Okay, you're
Yes.
still arguing the value.
Yes. Oh, and
Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure.
We pass this on, this is passable on to the Sunbelt people. I mean, we can, but, okay.
What was your question?
The signboards are owned basically by the signboard companies.
Okay.
So,
Did you ask him why?
yes.
Yeah, okay, no, that's fine. Let's put it, so I understand what you're saying, and because these still would be part of the ceiling, correct?
No.
No.
No, that's the point. They're not part of the ceiling.
And if they're not part of the ceiling, I would think you would still want to address the assessed value then.
I would think so, but that's not the case. We can discuss.
Yeah, we can discuss this if we can either take 2 or 3 minutes or just so that I can go to talk about this.
Please.
Or
Please
can
do
we
that.
just step
Yeah.
back here?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as I thought, did you say no or yes? No. No, I mean, oh, yeah, jinx it. That was funny yesterday. Yeah. Yes. That's what we aim to do. Exactly.
So just to make this clear, so the signboards, it's very important and working with the city, that we've been working with the signboard people so that every signboard that we put up in the city of Syracuse or that's on railroad property has its own tax parcel number. And usually, and you can identify them because they have that /1 with them. So the way we work this is that the signboard people who own the signboard and pay for it, and we acknowledge that one of the reasons why you allow us to put some of these up is for the tax revenue. So that if they want to grieve the value of the signboard, we give them authorization, and they are more than welcome to grieve the cost, the assessed value of the signboard with the city. Sure. But it is basically it's a,
Not your problem,
yeah.
right?
That's the way I feel, yes.
Okay.
This is the signboards. It does lead us to some of the parcels with signboards on them. We have not been given the official number. This is where it becomes a little dicey. We have received valuations for the signboards where it's included in a parcel. We have yet to receive notification that a separate /1 number has been created. And I would say it's a list of about 8 to 10 signboards that the city has kindly given us the valuation for. So it kind of makes this a little bit more problematic. And one of the reasons why I wanted to be here today was to bring that group of signboards up.
Okay.
Right now, I have 4 that looks like they are still on the same parcel with the track.
Okay.
So it's going to be our goal to separate those billboards out. I mean, in our system, they have a separate, this billboard's worth 150,000. A lot of other companies or property owners that have the same type of situation is they'll say, what do you have, the billboard, and then they turn around, use the tax rate and send, you know, well, we figured your portion of this tax bill is $3,000. So, but it will be our number one goal to break out the four that it looks like that we may have, the billboard and the ones that say C and N. So there's four of those that where the billboard is still on the piece with the track.
Okay.
So, those will probably be a little problematic, but just so, oh, I'm sorry, on this list where it says C and N. 'cause
And I understand what other companies do because they have one parcel and they can, you know, but,
Okay, okay, no, that's
since we
good.
have so many.
Yep, no, that's good. So I'm seeing the CNN on 4 of them.
Yes.
So
yeah.
those are the ones in question that you're looking to separate out. Okay,
Right, the ones that
Right.
say billboard have already been
and
separated.
those are the ones with the slash
Yeah,
one.
/1.
Does
So they
that,
can just, they get their own bill and,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
but,
so once you fix these, they're gonna be /1 also,
Yeah.
type thing. So it appears that there's 4 that haven't been quote-unquote updated yet. Does that just with your records?
I'd have to
Because
go.
you said something about 10.
Yeah, I know of 10. I should have probably brought that, but there were, yeah, there was a larger group. Oh, yes, that's right, yeah. Right, property that include the signboards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So,
But are 4 of those already been taken care of, is what I want to know.
let's see
No,
here.
those 4 that have been taken care of are separate.
Okay.
Yeah, those are already.
So you have 8 on there that are in
I'm
question.
missing quite, you know. 'cause
Yeah.
Do you need,
when you
add,
read
oh,
it,
yeah,
Yeah, I'll go.
okay. Yeah, matter of fact, when, if you would, did I read in any already that were an issue of the 8 you're
Let's see
referencing?
here.
I think you read it in 300 Brighton, East Brighton. I think that one is one that we have to.
Actually, I have it up right now.
Oh, look at that.
So maybe I started to read it in.
Yeah,
But nothing else. Let me just, just try and do some housekeeping here. 522 Renwick, 339 Woodland, 425 East Colvin, 420 East Colvin, 420 East Colvin Rear, 229 East Brighton, and 229 East Brighton Rear are not at issue.
Correct.
Okay.
I believe those ones have already
They
been
have,
separated.
okay, very good. Does that just with yours as well?
As far as I know, yes. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
and if you pick up some, what I want to do is when you leave here today, everybody's on the same page, and then, they'll get cleaned up, and while we love seeing you, hopefully we don't see you next year.
That's right.
No.
Can't leave
Matter of fact, your vacation's been canceled. You have to stay.
Yeah, okay.
But, yeah, all right, this is good. So when you're ready, after you're done checking, I'll proceed on with 300 East Brighton Ave. See, Nolan thought he was going to just sit back and relax this morning, but we're putting him to work.
Yeah, I almost brought a book with me. I was going to read, but that's okay.
Yes, good. I'm glad you left it at home.
Too much of a distraction, Nolan. What book are you reading?
Nothing at the moment, actually. I was gonna start a new one.
Spreadsheet, he's reading a spreadsheet.
Yeah, no, I'm reading
Yes,
spreadsheets,
that's his
but-
books at night.
So we have already been given values on this group from the city of the valuations, but not a new number, a /1 number, as far as we know.
Okay, yeah,
But they
so
did
let's.
work with us and the signboard company to give valuations.
Sure.
Signboard company's gonna love you if there's 4 that are not on this list, but I want it
Exactly.
correct.
If there are 4 on the list that I'm not aware of, then that adds a little bit more of a layer to us going back to the signboard company for their rent.
Exactly.
Right, that's what she's saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we want to get it equitable, and
Right.
it is what it is. Okay, so let me proceed on. 300 East Brighton Ave. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value, $337,200, with a land value of $316,500. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $53,952, with an assessed value of $31,022. So I think this was one that was in question.
Yes, we have a track and a billboard, so this will be, do you have this one that you know that there's a billboard there or no?
No. Well, you do have the /1, so what you're saying is that there's an additional one there?
Yeah, we have 2, so we have 2. You know, one is broken out, one is not.
Gotcha,
So,
okay. Well,
you know,
this
again,
is,
we'll-
we're helping each other here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because it does say track and billboard.
Right.
Okay,
So we'll have to work together on this and get them, again, this will be another 4 that will need a split out.
okay.
I
And you're-
guess
and
a
you've got it
02?
noted?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what they're saying, that there's an additional.
Okay, we have 300 East Brighton Ave rear. This is a billboard.
Are you gonna withdraw the billboards, the separate billboards, or?
Yes. I would like to withdraw the separate billboards.
Okay,
As I said, if they've no, if
You don't
they,
wanna do their work for them.
no.
no, and so are there any that I already read in that need to be withdrawn?
The Calvin Street rear,
Right.
420, that's just a billboard.
Yep,
And then the 229 Brighton Ave East rear.
So the one you just read, and then 420 Calvin Street rear.
Okay,
right. Just those 2. And this one, 3 so far.
okay. Okay, so I'm rereading in 420 East Colvin Street rear. Again, this is a billboard, current tentative assessed value $90,000 with a land value of 0. Petitioner believes the fair market,
They're withdrawn.
Right.
right, so I figured I would read it in.
Got
and-
it, okay,
Yep.
sorry, I apologize.
No problem. Current tentative assessed value, $14,400. I'm sorry, petitioner believes the fair market value is $14,400 with an equatable assessed value of $8,280. And I believe you want to say something regarding 420 East Colvin Street rear?
Yes, we would like to withdraw that grievance.
Okay, you got that. Okay, so the petitioner has decided to withdraw the grievance on 420 East Colvin Street rear. Okay, then, I believe that you would like to do the same thing with 229 East Brighton Ave rear. So I'll just read that in. It is a billboard. Current tentative assessed value, $155,000 with a land value of 0. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $24,800 and the assessed value is $14,260.
Yes, and we'll withdraw that.
Okay, so the petitioner wishes to withdraw 229 East Brighton Avenue rear. Okay. Then I think we are now on to this one here that may wish to be withdrawn as well, 300 East Brighton Avenue rear. Let me just read it in. It's a billboard, current tentative assessed value of $20,000 with a land value of 0. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $3,200, and that would be an assessed value of $1,840.
Yes, we'll withdraw that as well.
Okay, petitioner wishes to withdraw 300 East Brighton Avenue rear. Okay, 238 Ainsley Drive rear. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $2,700 with a land value of $2,700. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $432, which would be an assessed value of $248. Next one, 631 East Brighton Avenue. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $502,000 with a land value of $502,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $80,320, and that would be an assessed value of $46,184. Next up is a railroad at 900 Montgomery Street. Current tentative assessed value $138,000 with a land value of $128,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $22,080, and that would be an assessed value of $12,696. Then we have 1,000 South State Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $171,000 with a land value of $150,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $27,360, and that would be an equatable assessed value of $15,732. We have 300 East Taylor Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $168,000 with a land value of $150,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $26,880, and that would be an assessed value of $15,456. Then we have 1212 South McBride Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $186,500 with a land value of $170,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $29,840, and that would be an assessed value of $17,158. Then we have 507 Burt Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $173,400 with a land value of $160,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $27,744, and that would be an assessed value of $15,953. We have 518 Renwick Ave. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $217,000 with a land value of $170,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $34,720, and the assessed value is $19,964. This one here we may have a question on. Okay. This one here, 518 Renwick Avenue. This is a billboard, current tentative assessed value $102,000 with a $10,000 land value. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $14,400, and the assessed value would be $8,280. So we have a question here.
This one, I think this one has already been split
Yeah.
out, so I'm.
Assuming we're
Yep,
gonna-
it's got its own number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
so withdraw it.
Withdraw.
Yeah, we'll withdraw.
Okay, so we're going, the petitioner requests to withdraw 518 Renwick Avenue rear. 518 Renwick Avenue rear, okay, withdrawn. Okay.
One second. We
Yes.
just want to catch up, Bill, on the, so, Bill, just because you came in late, so this is all New York Susquehanna Railroad. There's a ceiling which is basically saying what they're going to pay. Or they're going to pay on X amount, and then they're filing on the value, but there's also parcels. There are some billboards that are on railroad parcels. We have taken some of them off, and they have a separate parcel ID. So you can just say, hey, Lamar, here's your, but some aren't. So we're kind of going through and straightening up which have their own, and oops, we have better catch this one, or, you know, so just so you know, that's kind of where that's why they're withdrawing, because they're just billboards. So, and they don't really care about just the billboards. They got their own, you know.
Well, but we understand also that part of the reason why you permit us to have these billboards is for the revenue that they generate for the city of Syracuse, and you go into that knowing it, so it's, you know, the
Sounds
billboards,
like- Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's a win-win, and now it'll get
Exactly.
cleaned up here, and, yeah,
And as you can see, we have quite a few.
yes, yes. Okay, so 200-16 West Adams Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $283,300, with a land value of $250,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $45,328, and that would be an assessed value of $26,064.
And I'll just add, this is a parcel that we believe has a billboard on it as well that need to be addressed.
looking at 200 to 216 West Adams and South Clinton.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so do we want to withdraw this? Is that what you're?
No,
we need to-
no.
No, they need, yes.
Oh, okay, all right,
Nope.
thank you for that. Okay. And, okay, good. If there are any others,
This next one.
Next one, yeah.
Also,
okay, all right, very good. So let me read in then 201 West Adams Street. Current tentative assessed value $922,000. This is a railroad with an $860,000 land value. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $147,520, and that would be an equatable assessed value of $84,824. So for my purposes, yeah, obviously, when there's a difference in land value, there's got to be some sort of improvement. So you've got that noted, okay. Okay, excellent. 802 South Salina Street. This is a railroad. Current tentative assessed value of $457,600 with a land value of $420,000. So is this a billboard on here as well?
no, this is just railroad tracks.
Okay. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $73,216, and that would be an assessed value of $42,000. Looks like $42,000. It may be $42,100.
I've got $42,099 on.
So we have,
We can round up to 100 if that's easier.
42,100. I couldn't tell if it was whited out. All right, thank you for that clarification. 212 Southwest Street. This is a railroad. We have a current tentative assessed value of 151,000 with a land value of 126,000. And the petitioner believes the fair market value is 24,160. And then the assessed value would be $13,892.
And I'll note that this property contains both railroad track and billboard improvements.
Okay. 221 Southwest Street has a billboard on it.
221 or 212?
212.
Yes. I'm sorry. A little dyslexic this morning. 212 Southwest Street. 223-29 Southwest Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $5,700 with a land value of $5,700. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $912, and that is an assessed value of $524. We have 101 Dickerson. This is a railroad. Current tentative assessed value is $66,900 with a land value of $66,900. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $10,704. That would be an assessed value of $6,155. Then we have 540 South Clinton Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $1,070,000 with a land value of $870,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $171,200, and that would be an assessed value of $98,440. Then we have 340 West Jefferson Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value of $424,000 with a land value of $270,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $67,840, and that would be an assessed value of $39,008. We have 115 South Geddes Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $1,211,000 with a land value of $1,161,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $193,760, and the assessed value is $111,412.
I'll note for the record, this is another billboard and tracks parcel.
I'm just trying to picture this. This is right before
Yeah.
you go under the railroad, right? And then there's the elevate,
Right
okay.
there.
Same with the next view coming up.
Okay. So this one, 115 South Geddes Street, has a billboard on it.
Correct.
Okay, flipping over. 1430 West Genesee Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $184,500 with a land value of $184,500. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $29,600 and the equatable assessed value is $17,020. And this has a billboard on it as
That
well.
one we
Yes.
have.
That one you have, okay.
This one, the next one, yes.
Okay. 1037 West Hiawatha Boulevard rear. Current tentative assessed value $1,075,000 with a land value of $70,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $175,200. And that would be an assessed value of $100,740. And the city acknowledges there's a billboard on that as well. 1429 West Genesee Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $113,000 with a land value of $113,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $27,680, and that would be an assessed value of $15,916.
This is another one that has billboard and tracks.
Okay. So we have 1429 West Genesee Street, does have a billboard on it per the petitioner. 1008 Erie Boulevard West Rear. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value of $428,000 with a land value of $300,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $68,480, and that would be an assessed value of $39,376. We have 112 South Geddes Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $55,000 with a land value of $45,000. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $8,800 with an assessed value of $5,060. Then we have 116-18 South Geddes Street. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $140,600 with a land value of $140,600. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $24,048, and that would be,
We do have a billboard on this, right?
okay, and that would be an equatable assessed value of $13,228, and there is a billboard on that property. Then we have 1034 West Hiawatha Boulevard. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $5,300 with a land value of $5,300. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $848, and that would be an assessed value of $488. Then we have 1038 West Hiawatha Boulevard. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $7,800 with a land value of $7,800. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $1,248, and that would be an equatable assessed value of $718. And then the city may have a question on this one. Lastly, 1038 West Hiawatha Boulevard Rear. This is a railroad, current tentative assessed value $30,000 with a land value of $15,800. Petitioner believes the fair market value is $4,800, and that would be an assessed value of $2,760.
Yeah, it's my understanding this one, the city just needs to correct the roll to reflect that it is a ceiling railroad. It looks like it's just tracks on our end. So that would be adjusted to be the ceiling. If it hasn't already been reclassified in our system, that's just one that we flagged as needing to be changed.
Okay, all right, needs corrected, yep. Okay, that sounds good. I think the only question I had, just for my own edification, is how did you calculate what you felt the fair market value was on all of these? What did you use as criteria, or was it a simple math formula, or what?
So we carried over the fair market value from last year's grievances, and those were calculated based on the income information for the railroad system as a whole, and then it was apportioned to Syracuse based on what share of the railroad's tracks were in the city.
Okay, so it's a numbers thing based on other information.
Correct.
And then the information that you received, that you showed me, did we already discuss that, or from last year? What was that all about again?
The railroad ceilings.
Right,
Okay.
and
That were
I've
issued.
got the 25 ceilings I can provide.
Good.
Those.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, sure.
Which one did you give him?
That's the 25.
Okay, gotcha.
You got one extra?
Yes,
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, that sounds good for 2025, and then you have one. Yeah. Yeah, okay. All right, that sounds good. All right, you gave me some information on how you calculated the fair market value on each parcel. Trevor, has everything been answered on your list?
Yeah, it looks like it. We just have to correct some of the parcel numbers. The
But
one that
nothing you
needs-
need to get from them as far as information?
No, just the income that he's going to provide to you. I'll pull that sometime
Okay.
later.
Just so
Okay.
we're,
Well, I'm sure they have.
I cannot break those billboards out for 25. Because,
Yeah.
He's already been sworn in for other
I've done some
hearings.
swearing over the past couple of weeks, yeah. Matt OJ, Commissioner of Assessment. Yeah, without those prospective property owners having the chance to challenge, I don't think we can create those parcels. They won't have had the time to do the assessments.
but we do have values on them, just not separate. So I'm assuming you know, like you may have done before, is here, Lamar here,
Oh,
whoever is
okay.
your
So
portion
they're not
of this
stuck
bill.
with it, they can still
No.
pass off?
Right, but we,
As far as your agreement's concerned with Lamar or whoever?
right.
Right,
Yeah.
But next year, it'll be cut and dry.
yes.
Hopefully.
So what would happen? Would you send, they would still get the tax bill, but it would be broken out, or?
Well,
Or would you
prob-
send a
yes,
separate
because
one
if we
to-
can't determine, for example, who owns the billboard, like
Right.
if you want to tell us it's Lamar or it's Park or it's Horn or whatever, I believe at that point we could put the bill care of, you know, them and send it to them, or
Oh, you can?
it's broken out.
Are you talking about for future sending us tax
Yeah.
bills? We would prefer to receive all the tax bills
and
for
you just-
everything,
Okay,
because
So then you
then,
make
because it is
sure
important
that-
for us that it's paid.
Yes.
So generally, we pay them and then collect the money from the billboard.
okay.
Only because, again, we try to be,
Right.
you know, right and do the right thing, and it's very important that they're paid.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't need more tracking down and this,
Right.
that, and the other
Right,
thing.
no, that's,
Yeah, as long as they're separate and we can identify them,
okay,
we know who the owners are.
right.
So-
And that could change, it could, you know,
Right.
whatever lease. or-
Oh,
Yep.
they change all the time. These companies keep buying each other's.
Yeah, that would be a logistical nightmare for you.
Right.
To be
Yep.
sending
Okay.
bills
No,
all
that's-
over the place.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
having to collect when it really is on our property.
Right.
And, but,
Got it.
yeah, so we're
Yep.
good with that.
Okay.
We have them in almost every county in 3 states, so.
Yeah, so it's working well, and, yeah, no, that sounds good there. Okay, so, is there anything you want to say in closing as a macro? Is there anything that we left hanging or didn't get corrected at this point from a procedural standpoint?
I don't believe anything has been missed. I would just reiterate that the railroad ceiling is the upper limit on assessed valuations, and there's certainly no requirement that the properties be assessed at the ceiling. It can be assessed below it if the board determines that the market value of the properties is lower. And like I mentioned before, we can provide updated income information for these properties and whatever else the board needs to assist with its determination.
We would like that. When do you think you could get that to us?
This week, probably.
Well, let's.
Next week?
Wednesday, yeah, next week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
early
maybe
next
by
week.
the end of next week?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that would be fine, because we will get to this mid-March, so that'll get it on time. And I think you want to review that as well,
Yeah.
the income information, okay. Should they send it into Michelle, your attention? Okay, all right, that sounds good. Okay, so you're good with your submission. Is there anything you want to say in closing? I think we cleaned up things pretty good.
I think we're set on all the questions that we had. As far as the ceiling,
I will try to find that part of the law that says that it does, I mean, that can't be, it doesn't have to be the maximum if we exempt the balance of, you know, the total assessment, if they're only gonna pay this, we can make this part exempt, but I
Right.
can find that portion of the law.
Right. He's, Nolan's continuing to emphasize that, you know, they'd like to be below the,
Right.
you know, well below the ceiling or whatever. And so, point taken as far as that's concerned, and Ann's going to try to find some information on that. Be good for us to take a look at. And Trevor, you're good. And anybody else have any other questions here that you might want to talk about? I'm not letting you talk anymore, so. Thank you very much for coming in.
I just have one
Yeah,
small
please,
question.
please.
I think what we have discovered here, though, is that we only have one area where we're not claiming that there's a billboard that you're saying that there is, and that is the 300 Brighton Avenue East, the 061-01-42-0. It's the very first one on the list that's CNN. Yeah.
Right, so we have one that's broken out separately and
Right.
then one that's not.
Okay.
So we will, if you know that, you know, we're incorrect, or
Right.
we'll double verify that.
I
but-
think I know where this is. I think it's on the avenue at the bottom.
Yeah, sometimes it's really tough.
Right,
to-
and I
yeah.
think we've identified it, but I will check on that. And then, will we need to make a request to get a new parcel number for that? Because it's not on our list.
If we're sure there's two, then I will break it out. So there
Okay.
will be two, you know, two
I'm
parcels.
almost 100% sure that there are two there.
Because I remember trying to go four-wheeling, if that's the one I think it is, right along 81, trying to get up that, if that's the one I think it is, it's kind of off Brighton, you know, trying to four-wheel it up there to verify it, but if that's the one I think it is,
Okay.
but I will
But I'll
look at
check
that,
it out.
but-
And was this 300 East Brighton Ave?
Yes.
Rear?
Yeah.
There's two, there's a rear, so we have a billboard on just the 300, and then a
Right.
separate billboard broken out, so we believe there's two there.
Right. And we withdrew the one that's already got the billboard.
Okay.
Just one of those has been withdrawn?
Yes.
can you just clarify for me which one has been withdrawn?
The 300 Brighton Avenue East rear, the
So,
one directly below it.
Yeah, so the parcel number 061.01-42.0/1.
That's it.
Okay, just making sure.
The other one is not.
Correct.
And just my last question, and if it's not too difficult, can you just run down the list of what was withdrawn?
Oh, sure.
And then
Sure.
just slowly, because I just want to mark it on my list.
Okay, so do you want me to read out the parcel number?
No, just the
Just
address would be good.
420 Colvin Street East rear.
Okay, 420 Colvin Street East
East
rear
rear.
was withdrawn.
That's the /1.
Okay,
And then 229 Brighton Avenue East rear.
229 East Brighton Avenue rear, and that's a /1, okay.
Right. And then 300 Brighton Avenue East rear.
The /1 withdrawn that we just talked about,
That's right.
okay.
518 Renwick Avenue rear.
Okay, /1, right?
And that would be the last one. Those
Okay,
four.
so 4 were withdrawn.
Withdrawn. Right.
Okay, good. I think we did good. Okay. with that, if you're all set and the city's all set, just want to say thank you very much for coming in today. I think we got a lot accomplished. And the city's got some things to do, and yourselves as well. But it seems like it's a good working relationship, so that's great. And again, thank you. And then there'll be 36 separate notices that'll be sent out first week of April. And we're good. Have a good rest of the week. Safe travels.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone,
Thank
for your
you.
time.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for coming in.
And I'm really glad we got some of this cleared up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I as well. I think we did good. Have a good day. And I think that's it, Michelle, done. Okay, so meeting's adjourned for today. It's just about 11 o'clock a.m. Thank you.